Schmoes Know presents HorrorFlix, a podcast covering all things horror, suspense, and psychological thrillers in the world of cinema. And now, here are your hosts, Cobbster and Cody.
What's up, horror fans? Welcome back to another episode of HorrorFlix, a podcast where we talk all things horror because we love it and we are sick and twisted in the mind. And I say we're because I am joined here with my friend, my pal, my guy who needs to eat more sandwiches, Cody Hall. What's up, man?
How's it going, guys? Thanks for that lovely, friendly intro.
You're welcome.
How's
You're
it
welcome.
going?
Good. I'm doing good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, this is kind of a sad. I don't want to
make this episode sad.
No, of course not.
Okay, if you've seen the title, you obviously know what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah.
I want this to be a celebration episode.
Absolutely. You know, celebrating one of the greatest, if not the greatest, one of the greatest, absolutely, horror directors that we had over the past few years. And sadly, obviously, you know, if you're listening, most people know that Wes Craven has passed away just about a week ago. And, it really hit me. It really did. You know, a lot of celebrity deaths don't hit me. They don't. Yeah, Robin Williams was like the closest. I was like, oh man, that's kind of like my childhood right there. But really, Wes Craven, that just kind of it stabbed me in the heart a little bit. You know.
I didn't hear about it right away. You know, I was
Yeah.
at work and then I checked my phone like 4 hours later. I just couldn't believe it. I didn't break down, but I was like, guys, I need a second.
Yeah.
I need to go
I was
outside, sit down, and just mull this over. Because this one hurt, dude.
I was driving with one of my buddies, and he told me the news, and I was like literally mad at him. I was like, "Shut up, shut!" I was gonna say "shut the fuck up," but I stopped.
Okay.
I was like, "Shut up! You're lying to me." I was like checking my phone while driving. I could have gotten in a car accident because I was so distraught. I couldn't even freaking believe it. And as the week was going on, and people were kind of like, I was seeing a bunch of tweets from people, which was just so awesome seeing people going back and watching his stuff and very much celebrating his work, even if he didn't have the best movies in the world. Obviously,
he had
made
some really iconic ones. He didn't hit everyone out of the park.
No,
put them all in play.
No, and not every director is gonna have a hitting streak, but
I love these baseball references. By the way,
you like that? You like that?
Okay.
It was just so fun seeing everybody going back and watching his work and really celebrating him and honoring him. And then our friends Alicia and Scott of Profiles, they did a quick little profile on him, and they mentioned us in it, which was really awesome.
Was
so definitely go out and check that out because it was a nice little tribute to him. It even got me. I was at work listening to it, and I teared up a little bit as they were talking about it. It was too hard for me to kind of grasp that because he's so passionate about horror films and everything, and it saddens me that that he's gone.
I lose it every time I see like. A lot of people are making these little cartoons where it has
Yeah.
like Wes Craven's grave and like Freddy's walking away and he leaves the glove
man.
behind. And I'm like, oh my God.
So sad. And then, of course, one of our friends and writer of schmoesknow.com, Matt Brown, at Call Me Roy, you can find him on Twitter, which is like the greatest Twitter handle of all time. He wrote a great article about this. Call Me Roy 88, excuse me. He wrote a really, really great article on schmoesknow.com about the whole Scream franchise and honoring Wes Craven. He even threw in the Scream series because he was watching that. So please go and check that out. It's very lengthy, but it is very, very well written. It's really, really great. I love that dude's opinion on these films because I love the Scream franchise. We had a whole episode where we talked about the Scream franchise.
And I want to point out, we planned on doing a Wes Craven episode before the guy even died.
Yeah.
I remember that. That was one of our questions for a Q&A a while ago. And I'm like, yeah, we'd love to do a Wes Craven
Absolutely.
episode.
It's just, I figured, you know what, we might as well, this is the time. I think everyone's very much celebrating him. We might as well go out and do it and just we'll talk about his filmography. We haven't seen, we're not going to lie, we haven't seen everything that he's done.
I was surprised. When I was looking back, I'm like, oh, I actually didn't
I didn't even know he did The Serpent and the Rainbow for some reason. So I was like, oh my God, okay, cool. Maybe I'm not as big on Wes Craven as I probably should be, but it was a nice little surprise, and I was going through all of his filmography, and obviously with the day he passed away, I watched like all the Screams. I watched Nightmare on Elm Street. I just watched as much stuff as I could that was available for me on Netflix. So we're gonna kind of go along down that way. I posted on Twitter now. Oh, you did too?
I did too.
Okay, cool. Whatever. And we're going to be taking some of your guys' Twitter comments that you guys have, responses, and we're just going to kind of go down the list of all of his films and talk about them, whether we've seen them or not.
Yeah.
And, really celebrate the guy. Celebrate his great career that he had as a director. Because, not all of his films were horror films. Most of them were.
I'm surprised.
But one in particular, I was like, really? Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay, cool. But obviously, we're gonna start with the very beginning. With The Last House on the Left.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen this one? The
I
original?
saw it a long time ago. I haven't watched it recently enough, so I can't talk too much about it.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I remember, I really enjoyed it.
Very brutal movie.
Yeah.
Very brutal kind of exploitation on violence.
He really made his mark right away. It was like really just provocative stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So essentially, it's about this family that goes out camping, and then one of the daughters goes out, and she gets kidnapped by these people, and they freaking just do the absolute worst things you can possibly think of doing to her. And then the parents get back and they get revenge, and it's kind of it's not like a great revenge story, but it's like it's very raw and very real. It's like if you were a parent
brutal stuff,
and you found out that your kid had gone through all this shit and she was alive, and you found the people that did it, that's just how it's got to be done. It's how it's got to be done.
Were you a fan of the remake of that?
I actually was.
Yeah,
I was. Yeah, I thought it was shot really well.
I saw the
too.
remake before I saw the original.
Oh, okay.
And the remake, I was like so shocked by what was going on. I was like, oh my god! And then I watched the original and I understood where it
was
came
one
from,
of the very few remakes that I really didn't mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
And can you guess who's in the remake?
I know the girl from Superbad.
Okay, but a certain actor that came to fame in a hit TV show. Come on.
Brandon Routh?
No.
Wait, no, that's I'm thinking Tom Welling. Sorry. Different Superman. Go on.
A very young, very, very young Aaron Paul.
Shut up. Really?
Yeah, he's in the remake. He's one of the bad people.
Yeah, bitch.
Yeah, bitch. Oh, that'd be terrible if you said that in that movie. Moving along, we're gonna go to The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah.
I love the original one.
Yeah,
I do think the remake is just a tad bit better, maybe just
I
because the
agree, too.
original is a little dated, but
Original's
still
fun though.
it is.
Like,
It's
like look, brutal stuff's up happening, but this one seems like I don't know. I don't know if it was just campy to me, but I just had a great time with this movie. I don't know. Both of them.
It is a really, really brutal movie. I don't know about like I could pop this in at any time and
Show
have
the family.
Have a great time with
Grandma.
it. Yeah, it's obviously like we've talked about the remake before, but this original one, it not only is very much like Last House on the Left, where it feels very raw and eerie, but it's like because of the way it's shot, it felt so natural that it adds to that rawness a little bit more. Whereas the new one and even the Last House on the Left remake, they're polished up. They're shot really well, and so while both are very violent and brutal and have a bit of gore and blood, I think the original ones have something great to it where they are dated, but it's because of the way that they're shot makes it feel really great.
Okay, I see what you're going.
Kind of the same thing with Nightmare on Elm Street too.
Mm-hmm.
I do not think that movie's dated at all. I think it holds up really well.
Yeah.
And I think the way that it's shot and because of the time that it was shot in, it adds to the eeriness. Because a lot of the times, like in horror films, if a horror film looks really, really good, I don't know. There's something about it that just doesn't...
Like forgives it, you mean? Like if it's not... Are you saying like it stands the test of time?
Yeah, I think so. Like the quality adds something to the
sense.
movie. Like if it's a raw quality, like a lot of 80 horror films, they have that kind of grainy vibe to it, like a noisy sense where because of the way it's shot, it creates an atmosphere almost. And then you can definitely create an atmosphere with beautiful looking movies. I mean, you look at The Conjuring, that movie's shot really well too. Yeah. Insidious is shot with obviously a lot of James Wan stuff. Even like you look at what the hell's with the hair, The Grudge. Like those movies, they have like a tone
They're
to it,
visually like striking.
Yeah. And so it a lot of like his original films, they created that bit of atmosphere.
I see what you're talking
and I definitely think that those atmospheres add a lot to it. Do you have anybody talking about Hills Have Eyes? Or
not on mine. No, I just have a couple ones for later. A little
bit later.
Yeah.
I see the same thing too. And I apologize. I forgot to make a Facebook post. I got really busy during the week. I made one post, and maybe you guys had said some stuff on there. Just kind of, a rest in peace to Wes Craven sort of thing. So maybe I'll go and check that out and see if you guys said anything about that. Because, you guys were really great about responding to that stuff and being really respectable to Wes Craven and everything. And, we even talked about him on Schmoes, too, for a little bit. And me and Riley got to speak about it a little bit.
To do that,
yeah. So we're going to move along. I've never seen Stranger in Our House.
Never seen that
Never seen that one. Is that the one with Linda Blair? It is, yeah. I think it was a TV movie, actually. Made for television. Yeah, that's right.
I saw he did a few of those. I saw them on.
He did a Twilight episode, Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah.
Twilight Zone. Linda Blair, like, gosh, she looks like freaking Sigourney Weaver from Ghostbusters in that picture.
Really?
Deadly Blessing, I never seen either. I know a young Sharon Stone is in that film. But we go on to Swamp Thing. Have you ever seen Swamp Thing?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Talk
Good
about
old
that
campy
one.
fun, dude.
I've never seen it.
You never really?
No.
I don't. Okay. I saw this when I was a kid. So
Mhm.
obviously, I know I just said this for the other one, but like I can't recall too much. But I just remember this Swamp Thing, man. I
Yeah.
think it was based on a comic. I want to say.
I think DC, yeah.
I think, yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. It was just so much fun. It
Yeah.
wasn't. I never found it scary. It was weird. I didn't find anything. Well, we'll get to Nightmare in a sec, but Nightmare was the first movie I truly found scary as a kid.
Yeah.
So Swamp Thing was just a fun time for me. I just
Okay.
remember that. It was a good time.
I heard a lot of people talking about it, saying that it's kind of just a fun throwback to old
It's like a
old monster
B-movie type
movies.
thing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
that's not too bad.
I like Swamp Thing.
Okay. Let's move along. And I apologize. We didn't have too much time to really. I wanted to go back and watch all these movies, and so we can
There's a lot of
fully
them.
go into it. But I just didn't have enough time to do
We'll
any of
make
this,
up
so I
for
apologize.
it. Like you'll see why later. We'll make up for it.
Yes.
Because there's some really important ones to me.
Oh yeah,
Personally.
absolutely. So we're gonna move along to the next one. Invitation to Hell. Excuse me.
Invitation. I think that was a TV movie.
Yeah, it was another straight to TV movie,
Mhm.
and it was nominated for a Primetime Emmy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Heyo.
So there you go.
Mm.
Obviously, the next one is one of the big ones, one that we've talked about before, which I'm sure one day we will have a whole episode dedicated to this movie and its entire
Absolutely.
franchise, which is obviously Nightmare on Elm Street. You know, we sound like a broken record because we've talked about this movie so many
It's
times.
pretty much every episode we talk about now.
I think so. I mean, I think we can't not, because that's how important this movie is for horror fans and what Wes Craven did for us and brought to life one of, if not the best monster movie villain of all time.
I was Freddy Krueger twice for Halloween.
Yeah?
And I was like, I think 10 and 11, I was Freddy Krueger.
God, I never got a chance. I never got to dress up for Halloween. I never
Really?
got. No. I never got gifts to.
First
to
year
do it.
was fun. Like I just kind of did a makeshift costume because my
Yeah.
parents wouldn't let me be Freddy Krueger. So
Yeah.
I got like an old striped sweater I had. I found some monster mask that looked vaguely resembling
To it.
and I got a hat and everything. It was a lot of fun.
I was gonna dress up. Not last year, but I think 2 years ago when I was on the Schmoes for the. I think it was like
Halloween
my.
episode.
Yeah, I think it was like my second episode, and I was like looking around. I was like, oh, I gotta get something cool, and I wanted to be Freddy Krueger, but I just didn't have time to buy all the stuff, and plus it was expensive. But obviously, everybody out there that I tweeted out to loves Nightmare on Elm Street. At Emily Crow on Twitter says the original Nightmare on Elm Street will always be my favorite. And another one, obviously, let me see. I saw another one. Do you have another one?
Not for Nightmare. There's a bunch for New Nightmare.
New
which we'll
Nightmare.
get to soon.
Yeah, I saw New Nightmare as well.
yeah.
That's probably why I
But
got
the first
confused.
Nightmare for me, dude, that was just. That's such a great movie. It holds.
is.
You said before, it holds up so well, and it's the first movie that I saw that I was truly scared by.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really a religious person,
Yeah.
but there were times after seeing that movie, I don't know where I found this cross necklace, but I always
Wearing it?
I didn't wear it. I kept it close to my bed, like just in case I woke up in the middle of the night and I was
And
like, what the hell?
Just see someone floating above
yeah,
your
it
bed.
was- ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
No, I mean, it's a great idea, and even like the conception of how Wes Craven came up with Freddy Krueger. There's a really, really great documentary that I brought up
it's
before.
fucking great.
Gosh, what is it called? I think it's called Never Sleep Again,
Mhm.
and it's like a 3-hour long whole documentary going across the entire Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. And I think this was in preparation for the remake that was coming out, because the last one they talked about was New Nightmare. No, Jason vs. Freddy. Freddy vs. Jason was the last movie I think they talked about.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I mean, obviously Freddy Krueger still holds up, and his personality is what terrifies all of us. But with the original film, you get like this great cast of characters that aren't really that cliche. They all have really different personalities, and
Yeah.
they work really, really well. You look at like a lot of horror films today and how they cast their characters, they're very much cliche. And maybe it's because during the time when Nightmare came out, we didn't see it as often as we do now. But it feels very real. They feel like real characters, and they got like real emotions, and they're not
Real
force
performances
anything.
too. They weren't just crappy models who
No.
were hired just to be there. And look
Exactly.
Nice. Yeah.
They weren't. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like the actresses, they were pretty, but that wasn't the first thing that you would notice about them. Like it was like Heather
characters that I noticed.
I can never say her name. Lankenkamp.
Sounds vaguely right. Yeah.
I'm terrible with how.
It's
Obviously,
okay.
I'm terrible with names in general.
People forget.
Heather Langenkamp. There you go.
There we go.
I was close. She was pretty, obviously, and I think she even looked even hotter in New Nightmare. But that wasn't the first thing that kind of stood out to you. Even the girl who played Tina, very pretty, but she wasn't like smoking hot. They never really had like smoking hot girls in this movie until like probably like later on in the franchise.
God,
it's very brutal, very brutal
up.
stuff. Very practical too. I love the way they filmed it. They turn around the room and everything. I mean, the scene where he's walking down the alley and his arm is stretched out and he's screeching across the thing, and I love that you like never really get to see Freddy that much too.
I noticed
very
that
much
too.
hidden.
I rewatched it recently. Yeah, you don't really see him that much until various points.
And he's not really cracking the jokes as much. I mean,
No.
he's got the jokes, but it's very much like just subtle.
It's
and
more menacing
taunting. Yeah,
than it is like humorous.
It is. And then what they did in the remake is like they tried throwing some jokes in there, but it's like they tried throwing some jokes as if he was like Freddy from the other films, but trying to be taunting and menacing. But it was Jackie Earle Haley just mumbling the whole time.
I was really bummed about the remake because Jackie Earle Haley is one of my favorite actors.
Oh,
he's
incredible.
I was looking forward to that so much. I was like, yes, it's gonna be awesome. And then I was just bored.
It was just a darker, creepier version of Rorschach, really.
Yeah.
Daniel Johnson, at the Daniel Johnson on Twitter, says, he ruined my childhood because I saw Nightmare on Elm Street way too young. Loved his work. Yeah, absolutely. I didn't see it right away. I mean, obviously we were too young to. I mean, we weren't even born when the movie came out. But it took me a while to actually eventually get to it because I had seen Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 first, and then eventually I went back and watched the original one, and I fell in love with it ever since. It's a perfect horror film in my opinion.
It really is. It's right up there for me.
It is, and I can honestly watch the movie on repeat over and over.
Good one.
It's very, very good.
That was a fun one to talk about. That was good.
Fun fact too: the ending of that movie is something Wes Craven didn't want.
Really?
That was a studio decision from New Line.
Really?
Okay. Bob, I can't remember his name. One of the producers of the movie, Bob. He didn't want the ending. They wanted the thing to be a franchise, and so they changed up the ending. I don't know. I don't think they originally shot anything. I think it was just like a script change, like make him survive in the end or something like that, so we can kind of keep it going. And so that is Nightmare on Elm Street. And at Keona _24, Keeks. I think that's it. The original Nightmare on Elm Street is her favorite because that was the first horror film that gave her nightmares when she was a kid. Yeah, I mean, it's fitting.
Right there.
Right there and there. Nightmare on Elm Street will forever live on. We're going on to Chiller. I don't think I've ever seen this one.
Never seen Chiller.
I think it's a straight to DVD or no, it was another straight to TV thing.
Okay.
With what's his name? It's got Paul Sorvino. He's in a bunch of stuff. But then we go into. Did you ever see The Hills Have Eyes Part 2?
Not all the way through.
Yeah.
I remember enjoying it vaguely as much as the first one.
It's not good.
No, it's not.
No, unfortunately, it isn't. It tries too much, I think, to be like the first one.
He directed that one too.
Yeah, he did, and I think it's got from what I remember, it's got a motorcycle gang. I don't know. It wasn't really that good. Like The Hills Have Eyes Part 2, the remake or the sequel to the remake, nothing like the second one. But I mean, it's not really good either. So it's a pretty unfortunate. But we're moving on over. I need to see this one as well, and I'm hoping other people out there have seen it. But there is one movie called Deadly Friend.
Deadly Friend.
Yeah.
Heard about it. Never
heard
seen
about it.
Yeah, I didn't know he directed that. Really.
Sci-fi horror film.
Yeah.
Didn't seem like it got too many good reviews, but I definitely need to check it out. We'll talk about this one briefly, just because I think he wrote it. I'm pretty sure that he did write it. But A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors.
Yeah.
Is a pretty fan favorite from a lot of people because it brings back Nancy. It brings back Nancy's father, I think, too. And it's the first time where really the kids started fighting back at Freddy. And I think it's a pretty decent movie. A very young Patricia Arquette.
A lot of people consider it not the favorite, because the first one's obviously, but out of the sequels, a lot of people consider it the fan favorite.
I think so too. I think it works really well. If there was a way for us to choose, I wish this was the sequel to the first one instead. So that way they could have kind of gone off on a good path, because as much as I love Freddy's Revenge, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, it's not great. So, I mean, this one steps it up a little bit, and they kind of get back into a nice function. And I think that's because Wes Craven came in and he wrote the thing. So,
That movie, I'm on its Wikipedia page right now. It says it was banned in a part of Australia.
Really?
Yeah, let me see.
Alicia,
due
why?
to its drug references, apparently.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
when his glove becomes the syringes?
Syringes
Yeah,
and kills her
syringes?
with that? Yeah.
Apparently they didn't like that.
They didn't like that
Whatever.
too much.
What was next in the old filmography?
Next in the
Craven?
filmography, The Serpent and the Rainbow. Have you ever seen this thing?
I've always wanted to.
It's a very creepy movie.
Really?
Yeah.
It's good.
Very, very creepy movie.
Seems like this is when he got back on track here.
I think so. Yeah. And not to say that he was like off his track or anything, but yeah. Essentially, he it's like I don't know. It's like a realistic-ish take on zombies, where it's like it's not fully zombie invasion or anything like that. Bill Pullman, I think, is like this archaeologist.
Yeah, I remember.
Goes in and he visits like these voodoo tribes. He dies, and then they basically bring him back to life, and it's like a real life interpretation of a zombie, and it's very creepy because that's what I think about when I think of zombies, like, and how they originate. I always think like, voodoo or some kind of African tribe bringing people back to life with these crazy ass rituals and cults, and even voodoo for that matter creep me out. It's very creepy, and the vibe and the atmosphere of this film, and Bill Pullman just like looking terrified throughout the whole entire film is just not fun. It really isn't. But it's a very daunting and eerie film that I think a lot of people, it kind of goes under the radar a lot of times.
I'll check it out. Yeah, I really want to.
Like I said, like I'd seen the movie, but I didn't even think about like it was Wes Craven. I'd seen it, and I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. But then, going through his filmography, I was like, wow, he did that. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
We're moving along, and then another one that he did that's a pretty fan favorite that, again, I haven't seen. I apologize. Which is People Under the Stairs.
I've been meaning to go back and rewatch this because a lot of people were raving about this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember too much from it. To be honest, like I remember seeing it.
I've seen bits and pieces.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, on
anything
Netflix.
iconic, but a lot of people really dug this. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's got the kid from Mighty Ducks, I think.
Which one?
The one of the black kids, of the brothers from the first one. Yeah, so he's in it, and he's in a bunch of other stuff too. But yeah, I need to go back and watch that. Let's see, it's going along. He did one called Nightmare Cafe. I don't know what this is actually.
I've never even heard of that.
American Telefantasy program aired on ABC.
Oh,
or
man.
NBC, excuse me. It's not a movie, but or maybe it's like Robert Englund was in it. So. And he played a character named Blackie. I don't know.
Okay.
We're moving on.
It's part of it. We got to list it.
It's a part of it. So let's go into some stuff that we have seen. And we apologize again. We're terrible. We know. It's okay. We're celebrating him because he's amazing. And we're going along to one movie that I think is criminally underrated, which is Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
Good one. A lot of people on Twitter responded to this one too. Let me see here. Matt Brown said he said his piece on Scream, which we'll get to shortly, but he said, I also think New Nightmare is criminally underrated. So brilliant.
Yeah.
This is like a precursor to Scream, in fact, in like the meta aspect of it.
Right.
Like where he comes back and after the cast members, like that's kind of like them attacking the horror genre the same way they did for Scream.
Yeah, and this came out a couple of years before Scream did, right? This one was in 94, Scream was in 96.
95, I think.
95, a year after. Yeah, definitely. And I love going back and watching this one because you really don't see Freddy that much, but because I remember seeing it in like the first 30, 40 minutes or anything like that. It's kind of a slow pacing build into what's about to come, but it's such a great build that it builds all the suspense and thrills. And I love that they bring back Heather Langenkamp and how they're talking about like, oh, would you like to do another Nightmare, and then the fact that they're talking about the script being written, and it's being written as they're talking about it.
Cool.
It's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
And they're talking about how Wes Craven's having nightmares, Robert Englund's having nightmares. Like everyone's freaking out. No one's really knowing what's going on, but they're not admitting it. And it's just such a great piece of meta work that works on so many different levels. The kid is a little annoying. It's just a tad bit.
I remember him not being. Very fun to see.
But I love the majority of this film. The skin the cat, wanna play skin the cat. that scene to me is very creepy too, and the whole ending as well, where they're basically like in hell fighting for their lives. It's great. Pliskin at Santiago Snake obviously a big Metal Gear Solid fan. New Nightmare for being my first horror film and one to scare the living shit out of me and had a hard time sleeping. I remember watching that opening scene as a kid. Of when they're working on the mechanical hand and it's walking around and it starts stabbing everybody. I remember seeing that scene as a young kid and it just freaking me out.
That's really disturbing to.
It's great. I love the way it opens because it's them filming the opening scene from the first movie, and then it just cuts to the production of the whole thing going on. I think it's so great. And I love that they bring back the earthquakes because in the original film they talk about how maybe there's going to be an earthquake. They say you have like weird dreams when there's an earthquake going around, and they bring that back in the film. It's just the little
very
details.
Self-aware movie, like a very smart movie.
It is.
A far along sequel in the franchise.
Yes,
it's a very well constructed movie.
And that's what was so refreshing about the movie because the franchise had gone on for so damn long that they needed something fresh in there. And like Wes Craven for the longest time is like, I don't want to come back to this because there's just nothing to come back to. And then this idea came across him, and it's like, yeah, that's perfect.
Good.
Let's do that, and let's make something really incredible. And it just freaking works.
Good job, guys.
Yeah, good job to you.
We saw that one.
We did see that one, yeah. Definitely. At Gary and Zilla, New Nightmare, meta before it was cool, definitely. Wes Craven made me fall in love with horror films. This one comes from Derek Richards, and he brings up Scream, which we'll get into in just a little bit. But yeah, I think New Nightmare is really great. I would have loved to have seen, obviously another Nightmare on Elm Street from Wes Craven. Obviously, that's something we can't get anymore.
Yeah.
But now it's like it almost feels like just leave it alone. Like it's just like
wasn't there just news like a week or two ago they're gonna remake it again?
That they're gonna remake it again. You know what I mean? So it needs to be. It just needs to be respectable in that way. It's like he passed away. Let the franchise die with him because there's nothing else you can really do. And I know that's not gonna be the case. I know eventually
they're gonna make one.
Eventually they're gonna make one, but it's just too soon. The remake was in what 2000?
It was 2010.
2010.
2010 or 2011.
Not even 5 years ago, and I know remakes now are coming out even sooner these days. But with this passing, don't greenlight anything unless obviously it's a great idea. If it's a friend of Wes Craven, they want to honor him in some sort of way. Bring back Robert Englund, maybe. I don't know.
Make sure everything behind it, everyone's passionate as possible.
And make sure that it works.
Money, just seriously, do it out of love for the franchise and out of love for Wes Craven.
And not a remake, because that's almost another shit in the face. Because the first one was, and if that's gonna be bad, then who knows what another remake of a movie that does not need to be remade once, let alone twice.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just hope the best that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Moving along, I won't be as angry anymore about that. But Vampire in Brooklyn, I have seen this one.
Yeah, it's not great.
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
I do like, gosh, what's his name? The dad from Friday in this movie. What the hell is his name?
Oh, yeah.
It's I'm trying to think. Is it no, that's not it. Gosh, I can't remember his name. But
fine, keep going.
John Witherspoon. There you
Okay,
go.
there we go.
I think it was John Witherspoon. I do like him in this movie, and Eddie Murphy is a vampire. There's some like
during Eddie Murphy's like prime thing, so
there was actually I remember specifically like he has a sex scene with a woman, and then he ends up killing her, and I remember it kind of creeping me out a little bit.
Yeah, it wasn't too. I don't know if they were trying to make that funny or if they were.
It's supposed to be a comedy.
Yeah,
it was supposed to be a comedy.
Weird to watch.
It's just kind of a miss for me. Yeah. But we'll go along to a film that is not that we're not aware of. I don't know what I was going with that.
I don't know what kind of sentence structure you have going on right now.
No, but that is of course Scream.
Yeah.
And the one that we've all seen. Easy there, pal.
Sorry, I got really excited for Scream.
One that is so important to us that we've had a whole franchise talk about it, and it's obviously easier to talk about that franchise because there's only 4 films in it. But Scream.
Scream is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
Top 5. Hands down, is just a perfect deconstruction of the horror genre.
Yes.
While making it also scary. It's hilarious. It's everything you need for that movie. It is, and it's more than that. It's so fucking good. I love Scream, dude. Everything about it.
Definitely. Luke Higgs, or Higgs_Luke says Scream, one of the best slasher movies ever made. He is the reason I got into movies, not just horror. Awesome writer/director. Absolutely. I totally agree. This movie is such an influence on me and you as well, especially for you, someone as a writer, I can imagine, because it's written so beautifully.
Yeah.
And Yeah,
that's a tribute to Kevin Williamson too. I don't want to just give Wes all the credit, but obviously, it's a great team up they did there.
Yeah, and we won't go over the whole franchise because we've talked about this franchise pretty in depth before. But I love all the movies, to be honest with you. I love the whole franchise. Scream 3, I think, is the weakest one of the bit, and I think that's because of Williamson departing from it and then eventually coming back.
I've grown to appreciate it a little bit more over time.
Yeah,
because my expectations obviously went down the second time I watched it.
Yeah.
But, it's not as great as the other three.
No, and I guess we'll just talk about the whole franchise in general.
Yeah,
Obviously,
we've
talked about it before, and everybody's tweeting us about it.
Tyler Myers says Scream was one of the many films that sparked my interest in movies. Its scares, meta humor, and creativity blew me away.
Yeah, and like we said, he'd done meta humor before with not humor, but he did meta more serious with New Nightmare, and then he did meta with Scream. Both serious and funny at the same time, because I love the story.
I want to reinforce that it's also scary. It's not just funny.
No,
I feel that shit's fucking terrifying.
It is.
The opening scene in Scream.
I think every Scream film, maybe with the exception of Scream 4, which wasn't taken as serious as the other ones, which I still think is really great. Every Scream movie has at least one really, really fucking creepy shot or imagery. Like the first Scream, just the opening scene of Drew Barrymore, very creepy. The second scene, Scream, for me, the creepiest was, Randy's death. I thought that one always terrified me. Scream 3 might have the scariest moments.
The sheet one?
The scene where Cindy sees her dead mom out the window.
Yeah.
I think that one's the scariest thing out of the entire franchise, to be honest with you. At @NoAverage_DC Scream, because it showed how meta a horror movie can be and how scary asking your favorite movie can be. Top 20 of all time. Yeah, I mean, the line, and Matt Brown said in his article, "What's your favorite scary movie?" is a line that has just been thrown around so many times, and it's a thing that we like to joke about as well. We ask people in conversations. We just have a normal conversation with someone. It's like, "What's your favorite scary movie?" And it's because of that film.
You know how I said I was Freddy Krueger twice for Halloween? I was Ghostface 3 times.
Yeah.
3 times. I had twice. I was just the regular mask, and one of them I had that blood one where you hit the thing and the blood is.
Did you ever have the glow in the dark one?
No. I never had that one. No, damn.
See, that's what I loved so much about Scream 2 is when they introduced Stab. When I was rewatching it, I'm just cracking up so bad because I love that if you watch the first Scream and they're talking about who they would cast as each other in the movies, and she says the actress that actually ends up playing her in the Stab movie, and I just thought that was so damn funny. And then you have Luke Wilson in there playing Billy, and I love the scene where he's like stupid, and he just hits himself on the head. It's so fucking clever. It's so funny. And so everything about the Scream franchise, from the characters, I love Randy.
It's one of the most important franchises.
It is
definitely the first one's one of the most important movies I've ever come across.
Max Fisher, who's at Wall Terrier 33, Scream was the first horror franchise I fell in love with, and Scream 4 was the first horror movie that I've seen in theaters. So that's pretty cool. I do remember I wasn't old enough to see Scream 1 through 3 in theaters, but I do remember seeing Scream 4 in theaters, and that was so much fun. I felt like when I was watching this movie, I was the only one in on it.
I'm right there too.
Yeah.
All my friends hated it.
Yeah, everyone, they thought that was so stupid. I was like, no, this was so fun.
Guys, what are you talking about?
I love the line in the movie. It's just rule number 1 about remakes: don't fuck with the original. So good. I really do like it. I think it's underappreciated, and Matt Brown made a great point in the article too, saying that Scream 4 is very underrated, and I do agree with that. Speaking of Scream, we're talking about the Scream TV series. I finished the series overall.
What are your thoughts?
Really good.
Really?
I actually really did like it.
I do want to catch up.
It's still a guilty pleasure to me, just because there's some elements in it that are just very hokey. Not the acting isn't really the best. The twist, I will say, it had me guessing up until the very last episode,
really? Okay.
And then once they established what was kind of gonna happen in the very last episode, it was like, okay, I know who it is, and I know who it is, and I know who a secondary killer was too, and I called that. Very predictable, but still at the same time, it all made sense. It was cool. It was a nice little twist. The way they ended it is. It's very weird. Okay, so
it did get renewed, right, for season 2?
It did get renewed. So the way they set this season up was almost like they were setting up the real Scream movie. So, because what happens, I won't spoil too much, but a lot of the main characters don't really die. There's there's still a main cast to carry over to the second season, and I feel like that main cast are the ones that are going to be getting killed off left and right, unless they're going to introduce, obviously, a lot of new characters, because there was a lot of people that died in this season. Not a whole lot, but the way they set up the season at the very start, it was like, episode 1 and 2, I think it was someone gets killed at the top, and then they deal with it in the whole show.
Yeah.
And then episode 3, 4, and 5, they kind of switched it up. People were kind of just getting killed off left and right. And so,
Did they ever justify the fact that it was called Scream?
No.
Okay.
No.
That was my big issue with it. But if it's good, like you're saying, I guess I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
Like, is there any Ghostface at all? They just do
Not like an original one.
Okay.
It's just like a makeshift
They
mask.
just do the one that's
the one that's
early.
that we've seen and stuff, and not the worst thing. And really, the last episode turned into a Scream movie essentially, because throughout the whole series, it doesn't really feel like it. It has the tropes of Scream, the meta, but the meta is a little too forced. Like every single time, because it is a TV show, and what I liked about the beginning of the season is that they brought that up. It's like, how can they do a horror TV series, because you have all these characters, you got to do it week by week. So they brought that up, and that was really nice. But the very last episode felt like they were at one house, group of kids at one house, and the killer was running around trying to kill all of them one by one. And so that's what I'm saying. Like Scream season 2 probably is gonna be more like that, whereas this season was a blending of Scream, Friday the 13th, the Town That Dreaded Sundown, like all these different things.
Okay.
And then I think next season it's gonna be weird, because the second killer is revealed at the end, and that person survives, and so it's like, what's gonna happen now? Really, I don't know. I don't even know if this whole cast of characters are coming back for season 2, if they're gonna do like an anthology thing. So I'm not really 100% sure. But my hat's off if you have a chance to go watch the Scream franchise, the Scream TV series.
We're very nervous about this.
Go ahead and check it out. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but I thought it was pretty decent. And the season finale aired, just a few days after he passed away.
Crazy, yeah.
They had a nice little more like a little in memoriam thing for him. It was very quick and easy, but they said in honor of Wes Craven. It got me a little choked up, but it's just crazy timing that all happened.
That's insane.
Yeah. So that's the Scream franchise. I know you guys are big fans of it. If you guys want to hear us talk about it a little bit more, we're actually going to play for you right now the entire Scream franchise, and then we're going to come back. Okay. I'm just kidding. No.
I was like, oh, really? You're going to edit the whole thing?
No, I'm going to edit the whole thing. No way. So, yeah, definitely go ahead and check that out. We talk about Scream 1 through 4, and a little bit, I think I talk about a little bit about the Scream franchise. I don't know yet. I don't know because that was a while ago of when we actually started talking about that.
Before the show started.
I think so. Yeah, so we'll move along. I've never seen Music of the Heart.
Neither have I, but I was surprised he directed that.
Yeah,
I was like, wait, that's
Wes Craven, Meryl Streep,
similar to anything he's
and
done.
it's a drama film. But do people die in it?
I don't think
so. Is there
they
blood?
Don't get stabbed. I could probably bet.
It got some Academy Award nominations for it too, which is crazy. But yeah, so we'll move along. Do you ever see you've seen Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, right?
Yeah.
Kind of get off a little bit, but just kind of like honoring Wes Craven a little bit more of his sense of humor.
Oh yeah,
he's got
he's
got a really really fun and great sense of humor that he was even in Jay and Silent Bob, filming Scream 8. And I love it so much because they had the actress hide from the killer, and the killer turns around behind her. They do like a quick little making fun of scene where the killer falls down, because the killer in Scream always stumbles and falls. Yeah. Very clumsy all the time. And then she knocks him down. She's like, okay, let's see who you are, you son of a bitch. And then they see it's a monkey. She's like, cut. She's like, really, Wes? A monkey? You're really running out of ideas here. And then he's like, hey, polls have told us that people love monkeys. Yeah. And then Jay comes in, he's like, we love this monkey. He's like, see? It's so good. I love it.
We love this.
He's got a really, really great, sick and twisted sense of humor, but I love it so much. And he's been in multiple movies before too. And obviously, like Wes playing himself in New Nightmare was really great too. Yeah. And we're gonna move along to his next movie, Cursed. Remember this one, the werewolf one?
This one's not terrible.
I don't think it's that bad either. I think it's a fun throwback.
Yeah, fun little monster movie. They're turning into monster. Jesse Eisenberg's in it. I remember that.
Very young Jesse Eisenberg, Christina Ricci, Joshua Jackson.
Yeah.
What's her name? She's always like the secondary character in every movie. She was in Jurassic World recently. What the hell's her name?
Bryce Dallas Howard?
No, the one who plays her sister.
Come on. Crying in the
she cries in like everything. Judy Greer. There you go.
There we go. Yeah.
Had her in it too. But yeah, I think this is a really fun movie. And then what's her name? Elizabeth.
You gotta start remembering names, man. I can't.
Shannon Elizabeth. Shannon Elizabeth. She has like a quick scene in the very beginning too. The look of the werewolf, I will say, it's a very practical werewolf. Looks awesome, with the exception of a few, I think, CGI
there's a
shots.
couple of shots that I remember look really
where
bad.
it's like
laughable.
yeah. But the overall look, it's an
the
actual
design of it
person
cool, yeah.
in a suit, which was really really cool. And then I really enjoy that story.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, and I think a lot of people should go out and check it out.
That's a fun guilty pleasure for me.
I think so.
Wes
Yeah.
Craven. That's a good one.
I love the fact that because I love seeing stuff where someone's getting picked on a lot,
Yeah.
and then something happens to him that it's like a Spider-Man kind of thing where Jesse Eisenberg is always picked on a lot, and then he like quote unquote tries out for the wrestling team and just kicks the bully's ass. I love seeing stuff like that. And then Christina Ricci is really really hot in the movie. So I definitely think I'm pretty sure that Curse is on Netflix too. I remember seeing it not too long ago. So go in and check that out. One movie that is very criminally underrated that a lot of people do not talk about, and I saw JTE post about this. They talked about it on Profiles, which is Red Eye. This was like a really, really strong comeback for Wes Craven. Very, very strong. It's not traditional horror. It is just a straight-up thriller film.
Yeah, I'd say it's more of a suspense.
Cillian Murphy and Rachel McAdams, Brian Cox. It's such a great, great movie, and it's so simple. It's so simple. It's just them on a plane, and then it's just the craziness that ensues between the two, and Cillian Murphy gets a pencil through the neck at one point.
I think it's a pen, actually.
It's a pen?
He is so good in this movie. Oh,
yeah,
my God.
He really is.
Freaking, like, harrowing, terrifying. And what I like about it is there's stuff on the plane, but there's a whole other third act when they get off the plane.
Yes.
It just
it's
keeps going.
Super intense.
It's such a fun ride.
Where it ends at the house, right?
Yeah, and then goes into the house, yeah.
Yeah. It's such a, like you think about it, it's like, Cillian Murphy plays a terrorist who has a hostage on the plane, but no one knows about it, and they think they're just like this like disturbed couple or something like that, and Rachel McAdams has to try to deal with it. Like, that just shows Wes Craven's great eye for very strong female characters, because he does have a lot of strong female characters in a lot of his films, and Rachel McAdams is exactly that kind of character in this movie.
That was right in her prime, like right when
when she was starting to come out, and same thing with Cillian Murphy too, very young Cillian Murphy. I did see someone bring up Red Eye on Twitter, and that would be at Film to Go. It was Dennis Sace. I really didn't know that Red Eye was his film by Craven until he died. Sad revelation, but fun watching it, and when it was released, definitely, absolutely. I think people need to go and check out Red Eye a lot more.
I want to go watch it again, dude. I haven't seen it.
It's such a thrill ride. It's such a fun thrill ride. And so,
it's a good one.
And it's called Red Eye because they're on a red eye flight.
Oh, I see what you did there.
And so, I definitely think people go and check that out. And check out Curse, too. Curse isn't really that bad. We're going to move on, and then after Paris, Je t'aime.
That's like a collection of directors.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
A few of them did that. Yeah, he wasn't really his movie.
Okay. And then, obviously, we've talked about Scream 4. He did My Soul to Take, which isn't the best film.
It's not.
No, I wasn't a fan of it. I was really excited to see it because it felt like a newer take on Nightmare on Elm Street, because it's nothing like Nightmare on Elm Street, but that same vibe. It's like a group of kids, and there's some kind of killer in the town, and there's some weird shit going on. All these characters, they have weird and different personalities about each other. It felt like it was kind of all coming together, and it just didn't really work that well.
It's tough. I don't know I remember it was in 3D too, and that was back when that was like a real gimmick.
Yeah.
Like they were just pushing 3D, and that was it. I'm like, okay, well, what about the story? I don't know.
No.
I appreciate that he tried though. He kept going. He didn't just throw in the towel.
No, he didn't. I mean, it was him trying. Luckily, he went out. His last film was Scream 4, and it was a nice way of him ending his career,
bookending his biggest franchise.
Yeah, absolutely. And that franchise does not need to be touched anymore. They've got the Scream TV series.
Better not touch that.
Just let that go along. Just the Scream franchise is fine the way it is. But I'm very happy with his filmography, and they're still moving. This is what excites me even more, because there's still films of his that I haven't seen yet that I need to go and watch, and I want to watch them, regardless if they're good or bad. I need to complete that filmography.
I'm realizing now, like, if you guys got mad at us earlier in the show, I realized we'd seen a lot of his later films because we were younger, obviously. We were in our 20s. But this is so much exciting to be able to go back and appreciate it that much more by seeing his older films.
Yeah,
like,
and
cool
judging by like the Twitter and people who comment on our Facebook page, there's still a lot of you guys that are pretty young.
The same way.
You guys are fairly young too, and so you have a lot of opportunity to watch obviously a lot of his newer films, a lot of his older films, and just have a great marathon of watching this guy's work and really celebrating his stuff and going back. And that's almost more exciting than anything else. We always talk about that we're not the most professional guys. We're just two guys that like talking about horror films because we enjoy the genre. So it's exciting for us to be able to have that opportunity of being able to go back, revisit these movies, and visit movies we haven't seen before. So definitely go out there, guys. Watch all of his films, enjoy them, embrace them, have fun with them. Tweet us about it. Go on our Facebook page and comment on there. We love seeing your guys' responses. If you guys are on the YouTube channel, Schmoes Know Podcast, leave us a comment down below and tell us what your guys' favorite Wes Craven movies are and what you just loved about his career in general.
If you're on iTunes, go ahead and rate, review, get us back on the charts. We appreciate everything. You can follow me on Twitter at @TheRealCodyHall.
You can follow me at Cobbster15 on Twitter. And
go to Wes Craven's Twitter account. There's a lot of really inspirational tweets.
There definitely is. He does.
Wow, that's actually really
I think people are still with his account. They're tweeting some stuff here and there.
They're just retweeting.
So thank you guys so much once again for watching or listening to this episode. We really do appreciate everything. We love you guys. We love all your guys' support. You guys are the heart and soul of the reason why we do this. Obviously, besides the genre itself, and talking about Wes Craven was really fun and really, really great. And we know that you guys love and miss him, and so we hope that you would cherish his work like we do for the rest of the time, because he may be gone, but his movies will live on, his spirit will live on, and may he rest in peace.
Thanks for everything.